C'est le slang de Montréal.
C'est comme ça qu'on parle.
Ça varie en chaque secteur.
C'est comme ça
Yeah,
qu'on
what up,
jase.
bienvenue à Rapolitik TV, je suis Monsieur de Montréal.
It's your boy Kiki.
Donc vous savez, ici à Rapolitik, on est à propos de la culture. Puis les gens qui m'ont vu vraiment grind sur le terrain, je sais depuis back then, les gens me voyaient toujours en train de rock du polo. Oh, Cyrano, il rock toujours du polo, ça vient d'où ce polo-là? Et puis sur le terrain, j'ai rencontré notre invité aujourd'hui. C'est un pionnier, un LoLife pionnier de Montréal, un gars, une légende dans le game aussi. Il a contribué beaucoup dans le game, dans le hip-hop game de chez nous et aux États-Unis. On va faire du bruit pour Raph Lauren!
Make some noise.
What up, what up, what up, man?
Two L's,
man. Two
straight up. So
Thanks for having me on the show, yo. This is dope.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for coming. Ça va être très franglais. On va parler beaucoup en anglais aussi.
des Montréalais,
pour les gens, on est des Montréalais. So just advising the people right now. So yeah, I really wanted to have you. This is an honor to have you here with us.
Thank you,
real.
man. It's an honor to be here, and you know, you guys really. I got to give you guys fucking daps because you really made it, man. #1 podcast in hip hop in Quebec.
Straight up.
That's
straight
crazy,
up.
you know.
So
And you guys always, it's a dope interview session. You always got it going on, man.
Straight up. So yes, I want to start from the beginning. Before we get into the whole life story,
Bet.
I want to know your story as well. Parce que c'est une des questions que j'ai toujours posées quand je rencontre le monde, puis lui aussi je l'ai posé plusieurs fois. Tes origines viennent d'où? Parce que t'es un Montréalais. You're born in Montreal?
Je suis né à Montréal. Puis mes parents sont divorcés quand j'étais jeune. Mon père a déménagé à New York, s'est remarié. So, tu sais, automatiquement, enfant de parents divorcés, je suis comme, OK, là, je suis avec ma mère. Là, je suis yo, je vais aller vivre avec mon père, man. So I went to New York, like, I'm talking 70s. I'm an older cat, man.
Yeah, you're an
I'm
OG.
Triple OG.
Triple OG.
So,
Triple OG.
I'm a 70s kid. So, you know, I was there early 70s, so I saw the birth of hip-hop over there. You know?
You were in New York.
I was in New York, man. You know, when that was starting, man. So, you know, that was crazy, man.
What part of New York?
In Manhattan. Well, first we were in Queens, and then we moved to Manhattan. So, you know, I wasn't in the hood per se, but you know, the culture is there
It's everywhere. It's in New
you know,
York. Yeah.
Plus, there was a lot of high schools where I was staying, and a lot of my friends got me out of Manhattan. You know, so we got to travel around, and it was at the early stages of b-boying and stuff. So we were chasing that down, you know, just to see it. We weren't part of it, but we wanted to look at it because being in a city like that, we saw it in the schools and the yards. But it was just, I remember the first time I heard Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force. And, yo, my hair stood on end, man. I was like, yo, what the hell? What is this? And then I got to see Run DMC in an outdoor show in Queens. Like, this is like 82, son. I'm a kid. Like, I'm a kid. And they just kept rapping and slapping each other 5 every 2 minutes, like just fucking spitting and slapping. And I thought it was the illest shit. And Jam Master Jay was cutting, man. And you never heard that sound, man. You know, and the whole attitude, and it was so. It's, you know, I'm a drummer too, so it just got me there, you know. So, anyways, man. So I was lucky enough to be part of the inception of hip hop and its growth. So in the early 80s, I moved back to Montreal.
But were you a breaker? Did you start
No,
breaking?
man.
You
No,
didn't
I
break?
had the radio, though. I was the kid with the radio. And actually, it's funny because I brought it back to Montreal with me. And the first day I brought it to school, they immediately took that shit from me. Like, I just walked in and this lady comes over and she's like, "Donne-moi ça." And I'm like, yo, what?
Why New York?
So yeah, but I was also, when I got back to Montreal.
T'avais quel âge environ?
Quand je suis revenu à Montréal, j'avais comme 12 ans, man.
Okay.
Tu sais, fait que j'ai commencé mon secondaire, j'étais à Saint-Luc. Puis yo, il y avait comme 3 breakers, man. But there was a kid named B Ninja that I knew from New York who was there.
Oh, nice.
So the world is mighty small, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I would bring back the tapes, man. I had the tapes. So for some long period of time, I was like a hip hop authority because I would come back from New York.
You were the plug.
With
Yeah,
magazines
you were the
and
plug,
tapes.
yeah.
But back then, you got to think, we didn't have tape doublers yet.
Okay.
So if you had it, it was yours. Like, you can't make copies or nothing.
Prête-moi l'affaire. Non,
Nah,
not
man,
gonna get
nah,
you. Tu vas pas me le redonner back. I know you.
Yeah, so sais, pour continuer mon histoire, je vais faire ça en français parce que c'est relatif à Montréal. Puis, dans la fin des années 80, puis début des années 90, I had come back from a long trip in New York, in 88, actually. I had to leave Montreal for unspecified reasons. And when I came back, I was spitting because of that summer in New York was life-changing. There was a summer, man, where like the KRS-One, the Criminal Minded album that changed my life. Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, and I was lucky enough when I was a kid, I got to meet the Beastie Boys and Run DMC on some privileged shit because my stepmom knew somebody at NBC and
Straight up.
Word up. So, but I got to meet them, and so that's besides the point. Anyway, so quand je reviens à Montréal, je crache, man. T'sais, mais c'est pas comme aujourd'hui, là. Si on crachait, c'était vraiment juste un hobby, puis c'était comme...
C'est un lifestyle.
C'était pas mainstream.
Non.
Puis c'était weird. Surtout que moi, là, je crachais, il n'y avait pas de Vanilla Ice, il n'y avait pas de Beastie Boys encore. Là.
T'étais
précurseur. Il n'y a pas de Beastie Boys, il n'y a pas ça. There's like Everlast who's starting and shit like that. But like, so I come here and I start spitting with this voice. I had this voice a while. So kids was like, what the? So quick, man, like I wasn't in school no more, so I go hang out at Dawson and hang out and they're spitting, so we spitting, you know, so just people were like always weirded out, like who the fuck is this kid?
But you dropped out of school?
No, man, I finished school, but then I didn't go to college or nothing.
Okay, so, you finished high school and then after
what up?
You were
well, I was performing.
Yeah, you but you started off as a solo artist?
Yeah, well, I started off as a solo artist, but that didn't last very long because we were managed, well, not managed, but represented by Donald K. Donald.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
so big dog.
like,
What up? Well, like, Bless went through that school too.
Yeah.
And so, but he was our booking agent. Mm-hmm. So they amassed all these groups, and it was called One Step, I think, or something like that. I have the badge at home. It's like 91. And so then I met my partner, Culture Supreme, who was in another group called Roots and Culture. Montreal is so eclectic, yo. We had Shades of Culture, which was a white dude and a black dude, and we had Roots and Culture, which was a white dude and a black dude.
It was
so they broke up eventually because that would have led to a lot of mix-ups. And honestly, in the 90s, Overproof, my group, with Culture Supreme and Shades of Culture, if we went on tour and then we'd go back but not together, people were like, Shades of Culture. They're like, no. So... that being said, man, I met Culture Supreme there, and we would rehearse in Don K. Don's building by Atwater because they want us to do shows and open for big acts. So I met my partner there, and really quick, we got attention. But the Montreal scene in English was non-existent almost. No. I got to give a big shout out to the MCs of that era, the Shades of Culture, the Arcades, the Troy Dunnets. A-Track, DJ Choice, all those guys, we all came up together, you know, so I'm forgetting a lot, no doubt, but trust me, like, they'll come up later in the interview.
Yeah, I remember Arcade, he became a wrestler, this guy. He was a big dude, this guy. Yeah.
But back then, man, there were so few English acts that we were always together. So you'd go to a hip-hop show, and who was at the show but other MCs?
This is what year around?
We're talking, like, from 91 to, like, 94.
Okay.
But it got bigger. Like, you know, like the West Island started producing MCs, and there was a bunch of people out of Bergs and DG. And, but the scene for them to go and do shows and all that, it wasn't that big, you know? So we didn't have that many opportunities.
But you guys were focused on the States. You guys were focused on Canada. I think your mission was
because at one point, as soon as we started getting attention and doing shows, people gassed us. And in that era, like, to get a record deal was the thing, man. You wanted, if somebody said record deal to you, you all of a sudden thought you were worthy of a record deal, man. So it was making demos and press kits, and you know. So another thing too is back then there's always a shortage of some talent in hip hop through eras. Like when it first started, you know, we said break crews. So there was break dancers, but there was no DJs here. There was no rappers here. There was breakdancers here.
Wow.
Then after that, the MCs started coming through. There was no producers here. So you got people spitting and nobody to make beats for them. So, anyway, we were lucky to find my man City Parks, AX, the architect, who was part of the Cynics crew, and he became our producer. And then that's when we started shopping the States seriously. But we were offered so many, like we were open for big acts. We opened for Paris Smith and Das Effects. EPMD had broken up for a minute.
Yeah.
So it was like 3 opening acts, And so we go on and we do our thing, man. And DJ Dice from Paris walks over to me and he goes, "Yo, Paris, want to talk to you." I don't know if you guys have any idea what that means to a 90s MC.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, I was like, okay, my man. And like, as MCs, as braggadocious as we are, I had to have a humility to me.
Yeah.
Because of around the culture, the creators of the culture. I was lucky to be allowed to fuck around in this shit. But because I was told I was told this young, and they said, we're letting you live with this because you represent.
Deep, ça. Non, il faut que tu répètes ça pour les autres.
We're letting you live with this because you represent.
This is deal.
Represent was the thing.
Yeah.
That would represent.
Yeah.
It was a fuck. If you didn't represent, the fuck are you here for?
Yeah.
So because I wasn't, I had New York in me and everything, but it's not. I wasn't the kid who showed up. Yo, what up, yo?
Yeah, just shit.
When I would come here, and when I came back here and settled here, like, and just did my life here, I found that unsettling that a lot of kids was talking like that. And I was like, I remember one. I'm not gonna mention this MC's name, but we were running a studio and he came through and he was like, yo, what up, God? And I was like, gee, yo, where you from, man? He's like, go see Luke. And I was like, all right. St. Luke, Brooklyn. Like, so, that being said, where were we?
Mais il n'y avait pas d'opportunité.
But I get it, because now let's pause on that, because it's true we adopt a lot of the slang.
Yeah.
Even in the West, sometimes we be talking like Mob Deep. Yo, what up, Dun?
No, but
you're not
it's
from
natural,
Queens.
man. We're a 1 hour flight away from.
Right.
A lot of us got family there. A
Yeah,
lot of us,
yeah.
and if you've been listening to hip hop your whole life, so you'll be talking to someone normally, and then turn around to your crew and it changes.
Yeah.
Don't let me go to New York for 2 days. I come back, I'm like, you hear it. You hear it now. I can hear myself. But if you see me at work, I'm not talking to clients.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your environment.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, there's always the spit voice. You hear me spit. It's like how I talk. It's not. I don't put on an accent. It's how I spit.
Yeah.
I don't sound like a Brooklyn MC. I sound like a Montrealer, but you hear American.
Yeah, you hear the American.
Mais à cette époque-là, Toronto avait pas une scène qui était développée. Est-ce
Oui,
qu'il y avait
il y avait quand même beaucoup. Cardinal was starting.
Yeah.
Ghetto Concept. There was people out of Ottawa and stuff like that. So we got to do a show with Ghetto Concept.
Yeah.
They tried to steal my band's tapes and we got them back.
What?
Yeah, it was funny shit. So we had a representative from Donkey Don with us called Luc de Bouvry. And Luc was white. Luc was a rock guy, he had the long hair. But they put him in charge of the hip hop motherfuckers. And another funny story is relating to this, guys. So we go on, we get hired by LCC High School to do the end of year show. So I get the call and I'm like, are you sure? They asked for overproof. He's like, yeah, it's you at Ghetto Concept. I'm like, for the end of year high school show.
They want us.
We don't have a record out. We never had a record out. Never a video.
No,
No, but kids would, end up seeing us somewhere, or at that point somebody made our tapes and passed them on. And anyway, so we do this. We get to the Ghetto Concept overproof show at LCC, and City Parks was coming back from Memphis. So I'm DJing while we're waiting for the show to start, and then he came in and put down his new CDs and his tapes from that he brought back from the States, and we all pound up and everything, and turn around and the box is gone. So some kid was like, yo, I think that dude took it. And so I'm like, I'll bet. I'm going to get those CDs back. And Luc de Bouvry was like, no. Schmollikip. So it was a misunderstanding. Shout out to Ghetto Concept. But back to that story with Luc de Bouvry and DKD and shit, I got to say what up to my man, Tra La Pieuvre.
Straight up.
Outra.
Man,
Man, Rain Man. So at one point we were on tour, man, with Rain Man, us, and they got us booked on, I forget what this shit was called, like Caravans of Hip Hop or some corny shit. But they got us touring Québec, toute la province. Puis, well, we get lit, man. See, les Rain Men, they would get lit. They would get lit.
Yeah.
So a few shows went like the Wu-Tang route. If anybody see Wu-Tang live,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes shit. I see Wu-Tang 7 times. They did 2 good shows.
Straight up.
So anyway, so Luc de Bouvry comes up to us and he's like, hey les gars, ça t'es en train-tu de manager les Rain Men? And I was like, what are you talking about? We were on tour with Rain Men.
Straight up.
They were having a hard time harnessing everybody. And yeah, man. So that was funny. So we laughed at him.
Yeah.
No way.
We laughed at him. And he wanted us to be like the mentors on the tour and to like, because we were older, right? So, we were the first ones causing shit. Those were fun tours, though.
Whoa.
And yes, you opened for a lot of other artists too.
Oh, man. We opened for so many acts, man.
You met Big Daddy Kane?
No, I never met Big Daddy Kane. We performed at shows where he was there. And
Yeah.
shit, but with a lot of the groups, like, they separate, for the locals.
Well, from the main act, yeah.
But we got to mingle with a lot of people. Like De La Soul came to our show. Souls of Mischief came to our show. And the next day, that was one of the illest moments. We performed at Purple Haze on St-Lazare. It's a little tiny spot. And that was the spot. Like, every week there was a hip-hop show. All the MCs would go there to see the other MCs. And so we're performing. And the stage is like a foot high. And as we're spitting, fucking De La Soul walking in. And I'm just looking at fucking Culture Supreme. I'm like... The Souls of Mischief was hot then, 93 to Infinity. So they were right behind. And so they came up on stage, they spit. So after the show, they were like, well, we're performing tomorrow. We're like, yeah, I bet we know. So they put us on the list. So as we go to the show, everybody in the hip hop scene in Montreal is in line in front of Metropolis. And we start walking and they was like, yo, overproof, back of the line. We're like, no, we're on the list, B. And then they pulled out the list and we were on De La Soul's guest list. So we had a lot of, opportunities to meet with all these MCs and perform with them. And that was always, a privilege to be a Montreal local act without major representation out of here, just us, do it for us. But this is, before the internet and shit like that. So it wasn't as easy to network. You had to know people who introduced you to people.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things, that got us through, was just being able to talk to people on a level of where we were coming from, because my partner was from the Bahamas. He was here going to school. So he would do reggae. He incorporated reggae in our music. So that opened a lot of doors, and it was at a time when not a lot of artists were doing that.
And so what was the end of Overproof? How did it end, this story? Because there was no album out, no video. You guys never signed?
No, we signed 7 record deals.
Oh, shit.
You signed what?
7 record deals.
Crazy.
Attends, ça, j'ai jamais entendu ça. Là. Ça, c'est comme un record Guinness.
Yo.
Puis pas d'album.
And nothing came out.
Ça, c'est... Il faut qu'il y ait un record. Je peux pas...
Okay,
il faut mettre ça dans le Guinness Book for that.
Let's put it on this. half the people offering us deals were full of shit.
Yeah.
And then the other half just didn't pan out because...
Wow.
So we got... Well, okay, sorry. One of the deals we never signed. I got to take that back. So 6 deals. One of the deals was with a Canadian label. And... their intent was to shelf us to us because we were in direct line with something they were releasing. So we got an insider on that, so we didn't sign for that. But we had a record deal in the States in New York with Fat Rat Records, which was an independent label distributed by Major. And they met us through, my partner was in the Bahamas and passed on our CD on, and some dudes from New York was there, and they're like, yo, we know people in the industry. And we got a call back, and the guys came to Montreal, and they was hood dudes, man. They was hood as fuck, So, but it's expected. It's expected. Independent label out of New York, I didn't give a shit. Like, you're going to put our record out, cool. Then we got to find out how they got their money. And so we had to back out of that. Because I'll tell you, they sued Biggie.
Oh shit.
They got beat up by Junior Mafia and fucking like took him to court and won. So I was like, yo, we come out on this label, we were like just as punk as them. Like, fuck that shit.
Damn, okay.
Then we got signed to another label out of New York, but they just got busy. Like busy. They were doing Philly freestyle. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that.
No.
It's like dance music. It's like really long instrumental with like crazy singers that go off on it for like 15, 20 minutes. Anyway, so they were too busy with all their other artists. So they got us down to New York. Barnev Valsin, shout out to Barnev, flew out, drove out, came out to meet with us out there. We were at the deep ends of Brooklyn recording over there. And, nothing ever came out of it. But, we got all the cool stuff that goes with it, though. We got to tour, man. We got to meet all the artists. We got to live the life. And sometimes
chicks.
Whatever. That has never been an issue, hip hop or not. So I got to bring it back to l'histoire montréalaise.
Yeah.
À travers toutes nos prestations puis tout ça, à un moment donné, faut que j'en parle parce que tu m'avais demandé si je pouvais inviter Mitsu à l'émission.
Qu'être comme ça, c'est comme ça que vous faites le crossover.
Je fais le drop comme ça, moi.
Mais c'était lui le plug. Je sais pas si je l'avais dit, mais c'était lui quand j'avais dit au gars.
Parce qu'il a écrit.
C'est même ma transition.
C'est ça, j'ai vu. En plus, t'as changé, puis t'as transitionné de langue.
Tu vas bien le dire en français.
Ok, en plus, il enlève les lunettes. Ok, c'est real.
My first crush, Mitsu.
Bye bye, mon cowboy.
Avec Julie Mas, Mitsu.
Julie Mas, t'as dit?
Yeah, Julie Mas was hot too.
Ouais. Il y avait un couvert de Éco-Vedette, puis ça disait Julie Mas, quelque chose, tire les hommes ou quelque chose. Mais il avait écrit Julie en blanc, Mas en jaune, les hommes en jaune. Ça faisait Mas, Julie Mas, le jaune. Anyway. Alors, dans les. Je me souviens plus exactement quelle année, je pense que c'est 96. Mitsu sort un album anglophone qui s'appelle Everybody Say Love. Puis la chanson, l'extrait de l'album, ça a été écrit par RuPaul.
Oh, damn.
They were doing a big push together, I guess, to cross over to the States. So it was real dance type music. Puis il y avait un rap dessus. Puis le rap, c'était Money B. Money B, c'est Digital Underground.
OK.
C'est le little dude de Digital Underground. So, elle vient, puis ça fait sa tournée canadienne ou montréalo-québécoise pour lancer l'album. Puis il faut un MC parce qu'ils peuvent pas payer Money B à venir ici. Il veut fucking trop de cash. Fait que, à l'appel des studios, puis nous, notre producteur, ben, il était bien plugué. Fait qu'on reçoit l'appel au studio. Puis il nous tourne vers nous, puis il dit, ben, Mitsu cherche un MC pour son tour. Moi, je ris. Lui, il rit. Culture Supreme, mon partner. Mais il la connaît. Parce qu'elle sortait avec le grand frère de son ami. Puis moi, ben, il est comme, yo, I'm not doing it.
Pourquoi?
Ben, parce que we're serious MC.
C'est ça, vous êtes trop real pour ça.
C'est le gars qui peut mettre des Timbs à la plage.
It's not in relation to our brand.
C'est ça, ils sont très comme militants.
Ça va pas.
Because at that time, man, we're spitting a lot of political shit.
Yeah.
And we're spitting, not political, but like,
très social très conscious
social
shit.
observance, and we spitting MC shit. We talking shit. So it's not applicable,
Yeah.
Plus, we've been asked to do all kinds of dumb shit. I was asked to rap for YTV video game show. They wanted me to rap about a video game every day. I'm like, yo,
c'est un autre voulu avancer son portrait.
Mais oui, là, c'est du gros cas.
Yeah, but see, I was not about that.
Yeah.
I was about the culture.
Represent, c'est ça le terme.
But it's for real. It's for real. I didn't need that, man. I had, I was straight. I was doing my thing, and also I was in the entertainment industry. I was acting. I was, I wasn't doing voices yet. But anyway, so, alors, finalement, je dis, OK, je vais le faire, man. Moi, je vais le faire. Puis là, il dit, non, man. Il faut un noir. So, Culture Supreme.
Hein, comment?
Il faut un noir. Dans la vidéo, c'est un noir.
Ah, c'est vrai. Fait que tu peux, OK, ouais.
Fait que tu peux interchanger.
Ouais.
So, anyway, man. So, il accepte de le faire. Puis, ça va bien, man. Ça va très bien. Il fait le Forum de Montréal. Il n'y a pas d'MC de Montréal qui ont fait le Forum de Montréal. C'est le seul. C'est pas vrai. Boogie V avec Céline Dion. Big up Boogie V.
nice.
c'est un gars de Burgundy.
Ah
En fait,
ouais,
c'est
hein?
dans la vidéo de Céline Dion. En tout
Ok.
cas, fait que... alors là, Mitsou, elle veut faire un nouvel album. La tournée va bien, tout, mais là, tu sais, c'est fini.
Mhm.
Puis, yo, il a fait du cop. Puis, pendant ce temps-là, elle nous a envoyé faire des shows. on accepte de faire un show au Casino de Montréal. Puis, c'est pour une émission de variété francophone. Puis, j'oublie le nom de l'animateur, mais c'est Jean-Pierre Coallier, ça se peut-tu?
Je vais voir ça.
En tout cas, un gars immense sur la scène québécoise. Puis on se fait traiter la voiture, on va au casino, puis il est tôt le matin, là, 9h30 le matin. C'est dur de faire ça le matin pour nous. Là. Alors, on est chacun d'un bord du stage, puis on sort. Moi, je sors en premier, puis je commence à spit, puis il y a juste des cheveux mauves dans la salle. Tous des gens de l'âge d'or. Puis moi, je crache comme MOP, bro. Puis là, je regarde, puis avec des yeux de peur, je suis en train de regarder mon partner, puis il sort, puis il voit toutes les têtes, mauves. Alinéa. Alors, Mitsou veut faire un album francophone qui s'appelle Le Yaya. Puis elle dit, je veux faire un rhyme en français. Je veux rap. Puis elle demande à mon partner Culture Supreme. Mais Culture Supreme doesn't speak French. So, he hollers at me at the crib and he goes, yo, man, write me a quick French rap. I'm like, yo, it don't work like that. I never wrote a French rap in my life. She's like, yo, it's for Mitsou, whatever, man. Just put something down. I'm like, well, no. He goes, okay, come through. Alors, on se retrouve tous chez Mitsou. Puis elle me fait écouter la chanson. Puis si quelqu'un a déjà entendu C'est chaud par Mitsou, c'est un beat de mambo. Je suis en train de mourir à l'intérieur.
T'as dit, comment je vais faire ça?
Puis là, elle me chante le refrain. Alors, je dis, OK, c'est pas moi qui rappe. C'est pas moi qui rappe. Tu sais, c'est pas moi qui rappe. Fait que elle dit, j'aime MC Solar. Puis dans ce temps-là, il n'y a pas beaucoup d'MC comme français qui sont mainstream, tu sais. Elle écoutait pas le TM, c'est sûr.
Tu un bord de culture, Rapolitik!
So, elle me dit, tu sais, tu peux me faire quelque chose qui sonne comme Solar. Mais Solar, il crache quand même compliqué. Hein, tu sais, c'est pas du n'importe quoi.
Ouais.
Fait que j'ai jamais écrit un texte en français, man. Fait que je m'y mets, man. Puis en 15 minutes, je finis ça. Puis je me suis mis dans la peau d'une dame. Parce que la perspective de la chanson, c'est d'une dame.
Ouais.
Puis yo, ma dame est lousse, man. She's a thought. She's a thought. Puis yo, puis là, elle dit, ben, comment je rappe ça? Fait qu'il y avait les micro-cassettes dans le temps, là. J'ai enregistré dans la micro-cassette, j'ai fait le spit, puis j'ai donné, puis elle s'est allée dans sa chambre, puis 10 minutes plus tard, elle est sortie, puis elle a fait le spit.
Jure.
Ouais.
Straight up!
Fait que c'est ça, l'album, là, Yaya, ça s'appelle C'est chaud.
C'est chaud.
Puis c'est featuring Mitsou par Best Kept Sucker Free. Puis écoute, ça a été quand même un gros succès. Il n'y avait pas de vidéo pour la chanson, mais elle a une émission de variété qui s'appelait C'est chaud, S-H-O-W. Puis c'était la thématique.
Oh, wow.
Puis je viens d'apprendre que c'est la chanson préférée de sa fille. Fait.
Oh, wow.
Ça m'a fait chaud, quoi.
C'est sûr qu'on va aller checker ça. Les gens vont aller checker ça. Tout le monde est curieux.
Mais est-ce que tu as eu tes rights au moins là-dessus?
Oui, bien sûr.
Okay,
Ouais, puis j'ai fait les 2 derniers couplets. Il y a comme un genre de petit sing-songy dans le reggae, genre reggae, là, dans le fond. Là.
OK.
C'est tout du rap, mais comme un petit peu mélodique. Plus mélodique, c'est pas comment moi je rappe.
Sur la même chanson.
C'est bon, ouais, c'est les 2 derniers couplets.
Oh, ouais.
Les 2 derniers verses.
Et puis, il y a une rumeur comme quoi, t'as pas déjà beef avec Erykah Badu ou quelque chose?
Oh, shit. Alors, je suis...
beef
Comme on a fini la parenthèse Mitsou.
Ouais,
dans
on passe à autre chose. Nous, on fait des transitions rapides. Hein.
Ouais.
Ok, ben Mitsou à Rapolitik, si Dieu veut.
Tu sais, Mitsou, elle a quand même un rôle important de sa famille au complet dans l'hip-hop au Québec. Veut pas. Hein.
Mais c'est ça, nous on l'a vu dans le
Parce qu'il y a Abeille
Rapolitik,
Gélina
là.
qui a fait le show
Abeille,
de rap.
ben oui.
Abeille Gélina, là,
ça.
c'est avec la grosse DJ, là.
Yo,
J'ai déjà dansé avec elle dans un club back in the day.
Tu vois, ça veut dire
Ça, on
qu'il
se rappelle
dénie.
pas là, mais
Ben.
I remember.
fait que toute la famille Gélina sont comme heavy in the game. Là.
Yeah.
Et on leur doit quelque chose à
Moi, je
propos du
fuck
hip-hop.
avec eux, là.
Parce que là, on reste dans le Mitsou 2 secondes pour aller à Eric Badou. Grâce à Mitsou, j'ai eu l'émission de hip-hop à Radio Énergie, CKMF 94.3.
C'est grâce à elle.
Grâce à elle.
À cause du beat.
À cause de notre relation. Ça a
Ouais,
développé
ouais.
une relation entre notre groupe Overproof,
Ouais.
elle et son mari. Puis, tu sais, ça a développé une belle relation. Il faisait des thématiques pour des émissions de télé. Fait qu'on allait donner de la musique. City Parks, il faisait des beats pour eux, des choses comme ça. Puis nous, on faisait des voix, des affaires de même. Fait que, alors, Mitsu, elle était à CKMF, à Radio Énergie à ce moment-là, comme animatrice. Puis, il voulait faire une radio web, une spécialisée dance, une spécialisée grunge, une spécialisée hip-hop. Fait que j'étais pour l'entrevue, puis tout de suite, j'ai eu le rôle. Puis, ils ont même voulu que j'auditionne pour faire le show de rap à Musique Plus. Mais à Musique Plus, ils voulaient toujours garder l'image de la culture, puis avoir un noir qui représentait. Fait que, puis ils me l'ont dit clairement. Ouais. Puis, c'était pas grave, moi, ça m'intéressait pas. Là, honnêtement, la caméra, là, j'en avais comme là. Fait que j'ai eu l'émission web. Puis, ça jouait 24 sur 24, 365 en loop. Je la faisais 3 fois par semaine. Puis, j'avais un article dans le magazine Cool avec ça. Ça allait avec l'émission. Fait que j'allais faire des entrevues avec les gros groupes qui venaient à Montréal. T'sais. Fait que j'ai une entrevue avec Erykah Badu. Mais ce qui était plus drôle le soir avant, c'est qu'on marchait sur Sherbrooke. Puis je suis en train de parler avec City Parks. Puis je suis comme, yo, Mos Def. Puis je me tourne. Puis Common, il est assis sur le trottoir. Puis comme, yo, that's Common. So like, yo, what up, Common? What's up, man? How you doing? Puis on remarque pas, mais il y a quelqu'un à côté de lui, avec un hood. Puis là, I'm like, yo, what are you doing here? Puis he's like, yo, I'm chilling with my friend Erykah. Puis là, elle lève sa tête, puis elle était sous le hood. Puis là, je dis, oh, snap, Mrs. Badu, how are you? It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm interviewing you tomorrow. I'm going to meet you at the show. She's like, oh, excellent, cool, I'll see you tomorrow. Super sweet, super cool. All right, cool. So the next day, I'm at the show, and this guy from Sony Music comes to get me. He goes, okay, let's go do that interview. And he brings me towards the backstage, and there's this little dude who's a manager is flipping out, and he's like jumping up in front of us. He's like, you fucking liars, you liars. And he's like, yo, what he's like, he's not the fucking radio. The radio was just here. There's not. And the guy from Sony's like, yo, relax, man. There's more than one radio station in Montreal. Like, chill out. And he's like, she was just here doing the interview. She's not doing 50 interviews. And he's like, yo, I'm with Sony. Oh, you the Sony guy? He's like, yeah, this is the guy from the big radio station. So we go in, and Erykah's back there with her moms, and it's a whole thing popping off. You know, there's incense and carpets. And,
ouais, c'est dans son vibe et tout. Là,
Puis Common, il est comme dans l'autre chambre. So I walk in, and I'm like, what's up, Miss Badu? That was an ill show. You know, thank you so much for coming to Montreal, blessing us with your ill shit. And I go, look, you know, before we start the interview, I don't got, like, these generic questions for you. I know, you know, this was an emotional time for you in the past year. Puis quand j'ai dit ça, là, yo, she flipped on me, bro. She's like, yeah, for you too. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm talking about, you know, I wanted to talk about the development. We're not even in the interview yet. And I was like, I want it in reference to how you developed the album. And she's like, yeah, well, I think you've got a lot of problems with your emotions. And listen, you've been through a lot. And elle
sentait que tu la jugeais.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened. So through the nonsense and her mom just standing there smiling, Common pops in and he's like, yo, my man, I'll give you an interview. So I'm like, il y a eu un petit échange entre moi et elle. Puis, I can't say verbatim what it was, mais c'était dans le genre...
Ça fait longtemps.
J'ai dit dans le genre, I'm here to do free promotion for you. This is free. Like, I'm going to promote you. Puis, she wasn't hearing me, tu sais.
Non.
Fait que c'est là qu'il a popé.
Quand même, j'ai dit, OK, au pire, allez,
il m'a pris la main, man. Il est comme, yo, come on, man, I'll give you an interview.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah,
common sense!
Yo, je quittais la salle comme... Puis, yeah, so that's it, man. So that was my Erykah Badu incident. But it left a sour taste in my mouth because, you know, she was so sweet and just, bam. I was like, whoa, what
Parce
did I
qu'elle
say?
savait pas où est-ce que tu dirigeais
But we weren't
là-dedans.
even in the interview yet. I wasn't taping, you know?
C'est pour ça, des fois, il faut pas que tu parles trop à l'avance et tout.
Yeah, c'est ça.
Des fois, il y a quelqu'un qui est là, je pense que je peux pas tout
I'm
ça.
not you guys, you know, I didn't have the experience. Mais c'est ça, fait que ça a duré 2 ans, tu sais, puis ça nous a ouvert beaucoup de portes. Là, j'ai arrêté de me mettre en avant comme artiste, puis j'ai commencé à représenter d'autres artistes.
Ah ouais.
Puis essayer de diriger. Parce que j'avais des accès à plus de choses maintenant. Tu sais, j'avais mon émission, je pouvais mettre ce que je voulais dessus. Tu sais,
Ça, c'était l'émission en énergie, tu vois.
Ouais. Fait que je jouais énormément de hip-hop montréalais. Ils vont crever.
Ah ouais, ok.
Ben oui, man.
On parle de quelle année, ça?
Là, on est en 99-2000.
OK, quand même, hein, dans
Ouais.
l'explosion du rap
c'est ça.
francophone.
Maintenant, on a l'explosion du rap montréalais en français, rap québécois. Fait qu'il y a les gars de Québec, il y a tout. Fait qu'on est en tournée, tu sais. Ça, c'est aussi avant mon émission de radio, par exemple. Là, mais on tournait avec tous ces groupes-là, tu sais. Fait que on a vu aussi toute l'explosion du rap francophone. Puis c'est ça qui a tout changé, mais on était mis sur ces tournées-là avec un gros anglophone, fait qu'on était souvent les seuls de stud, if you want. On est sur un DJ Nerve a fait une compilation qui s'appelait Berceau de l'Amérique.
Oui,
Ouais, ça, c'était terrible, celui-là.
Ouais, ben on est là-dessus, tu sais.
Ouf.
Puis il y a eu un review. Like, we sound like MOP on that, like, because of how hard we come off. And
Ok,
the
so
beat-
on peut vous entendre sur ça. Ça, c'est quelque chose sur
Ouais.
lequel on peut vous entendre.
Ouais.
Au moins.
Ok.
Ouais.
Au moins, une
Ouais.
chance. Thank you. Merci, DJ Nerve.
J'ai
Yes,
checké
sir.
Fat et la sonorité, he might have shared it. He's
Yeah, he's into it.
encyclopédie.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe-
that's another thing, man. I gotta give props to these kids, man, that are like digging in our crates,
crates,
in our
yeah,
Montreal
yeah,
crates,
yeah.
and going to see, you know, who's who and what's what. And that's what always it saddens me every time I've seen videos about the history of Montreal hip hop and stuff like that on YouTube, and we're always left out just because we
Vous
didn't
n'avez
have
pas ça.
anything
Mais
out.
avoue que ça te fait quelque chose pour dire que il y a juste les personnes de l'époque qui étaient là pour dire, yo, overproof, did that, did this. Puis
That's
c'est des
okay,
histoires,
man.
mais des
That's
fois,
okay.
juste une photo aurait pu aider. Des fois, juste une affaire
It's
sur...
okay.
C'est ça qui est
It's
un peu,
okay,
un peu
man.
chiant
Yeah,
aussi.
we all went on to do some good things that
Yeah.
fulfilled our artistic needs and our needs for the spotlight. You know,
Yeah.
all of us. Culture Supreme went and did a song with Carl Wolf that went diamond.
Yeah.
Straight
You
up.
know, he's the MC on Africa. He toured the world with Carl Wolf. Shout out to Carl Wolf, man. That's
Shout
my
out to Carl Wolf.
bro, man. From back in the day, we got our managers like, we're looking for a singer for one of our songs, do the hook. So our manager's like, yo, come on, we're gonna go listen to this kid Carl Wolf. He's a really good pianist and singer. So two grungy rappers go in to listen to a dude who sings like an angel, who plays piano like crazy. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I turn to my manager and I go, he's auditioning for us, B? I want to ask him if he dares to sing with us spitting. Like, this kid is talented, man. You know, like, I don't give a shit what people think of his music or what their opinion of what pop music is. This kid will shit music out like a machine. I don't know if anybody watches his Instagram, but he makes beats à la minute, là,
No,
and he
won't,
does a song, you know, like. But he's super talented, super dedicated. He's somebody who did it from scratch by himself. I seen him do it. You know, his record label is Lone Wolf because he did it like grinding, heartbreak. You know, I see, and that's the story of a lot of Montreal artists. He moved to Toronto because that's what was up, you know. But like, I let's say Liquid from Montreal, Brand Van 3000. You know, he used to come to our shows and he would spit in my ear, and I'd be like, "I'm not a label dude, but big up the Liquid. You know, that's my dog. I seen him grind, put in the work, you know, and go through Brand Van and then get screwed on labels and." You know, he called me from London asking me for advice. Because when I stopped being an artist, I concentrated on the business of it. And that's what kept me from going back to the mic. The business of it broke my heart. But it was a necessity. So I learned the business. And so then I would help other artists navigate through shit.
Plus, I'm on the Brand Van album. I never got a dime from that.
That bet.
Yo, for real. C'est un gros track. C'est sur Spotify en plus.
Another album where people can hear me is on Malik Shahid's Franglais album. I do a track with my man from New Zion, man.
Ah, yeah?
Yeah,
Pas
man.
Impost?
Impost, bro. Me
Ah,
and
t'as un track avec
fam.
Impost,
yes,
toi?
sir. With Montreal royalty, sir. Yeah, man. Me and Impost spit go crazy on the track.
Oh, shit.
tu
In
vois?
English. Both in English.
Yeah, no, I'm in English, he's in French.
Oh, yeah.
Ah ouais. Fait la sonorité, t'as de la job, là, après ça.
Yeah.
That City Park's
seriously.
on the beat. City Park's
Oh,
on the
yeah.
beat. Yeah,
Ah
man.
ouais, c'est bon, ça.
I've been trying to get City Parks to make some new beats.
Yeah, man. It's working, man. It's hard.
Yeah,
Creativity's
yeah.
a bitch if you're not always at it, you know?
That's true, too. I get it.
Mais il y a la partie où est-ce que tu parlais que quand tu travailles à la radio 2019, 99, 2000.
Ouais.
Puis tu sais, souvent, il y avait le côté où les personnes disaient que c'était un peu dur de pouvoir être dans le mainstream, puis tout ça. Fait que c'était quoi un peu les barrières que tu avais ou les limites que tu avais à passer, justement, des artistes?
Parce que à mon émission, j'avais aucune limite. Parce que c'était sur le web. Hein. Fait que moi, je jouais
sur les
explicit version, tout, français, anglais, je jouais de tout. Il y avait personne qui checkait mon playlist. Tellement que, à un moment donné, le programmeur, c'est un des plus gros programmeurs au Québec, qui est décédé il n'y a pas longtemps. Mais il était fâché que, il dit, faut que tu te joues toutes tes playlists. Puis j'étais comme, OK. Puis quand j'ai donné mon playlist, c'est comme, il m'en a plus jamais reparlé. C'est des artistes que t'as jamais entendu parler. C'est comme, you wouldn't know. Fait que moi, il y avait steady rotation, man, de tous les artistes montréalais, québécois. Puis à travers ça, ben, je mettais ce que les gens voulaient entendre, des artistes américains. Mais il fallait que c'était mon obligation de faire ça. Pas personnel, là. Il fallait que je le fasse.
C'est bon.
Puis, nous, on était chanceux, justement, à cause de la relation Mitsu. Parce que ça nous a ouvert beaucoup de portes. On a fait l'annonce de Monsoon Ultra, mais on s'est fait payer, tu sais, comme l'annonce de Monsoon. Là. Elle n'a jamais sorti l'annonce. J'ai une vidéo à la maison, c'est à mourir de rire. Puis, comme, il nous donnait des textes écrits par des hommes de mon âge à ce temps-là, tu sais. Puis on est comme, non, let's rewrite it. Puis le gars, il est là. Puis je suis comme, yo, c'est de la merde, moi, je crache pas ça. T'sais. Puis le gars est comme, qu'est-ce qu'il y a, mon texte?
Tabarnak!
Je suis comme, ben, man, c'est une vraie molle à 5% d'alcool. Je sais pas c'est qui parle de sa bière puis qui appelle ça une molle, mais. Anyway, mais so, tu sais, puis là, on arrive sur le set, puis la fille, elle est comme, sont où vos chaînes puis vos casquettes? Je suis comme, yeah, bet. Fait qu'elle appelle des aides du plateau, puis elle est comme, va chez Ardennes chercher des chaînes. Puis je suis comme, yo, tu vas chez Ardennes, moi je quitte le plateau.
M'habille en clown.
So, you know, nous, on était vraiment basic, on portait des t-shirts, des jeans, des
hip-hop
Timbs,
shit,
man.
normal.
Puis parce qu'on faisait des shows souvent plus évolués dans le sens de la foule, puis tout, des promoteurs étaient comme, yo, vous avez pas un outfit? Je suis comme, you're looking at it, man. we're both wearing blue.
C'est ça.
And yellow Timbs with a white rag in our pockets because we're going to be sweating tonight.
C'est ça, là.
You know? So that's one thing, man. Overproof kept it fucking real. We kept it so real, man. Like because we didn't have records, we didn't have nothing. At one point, Much Music came to film Rap City in Montreal. And we weren't on it. And we were fucking pissed. Because it was like a handful of English acts. And they came to film the English acts for Rap City, Toronto. And we're not on it, yo. I was heated. So,
ouais, c'est sûr.
So I'm like, yo, fuck this shit. But I can't get mad at nobody because Shades of Culture is managed by Fritz Mogil. Fritz Mogil is an animal, man. He did New Kids on the Block or some shit after. Like,
ah ouais, hein?
Yeah. This dude put in the work, man.
Comment il a été dans l'équipe? Il a managé?
Ouais, t'es le tour manager.
Jure?
Ouais. C'est pas New Kids ou les autres, là. Les deux, là.
Boys,
NSYNC ou les deux, là. C'est ça. Backstreet Boys. Qui j'ai dit? NSYNC? Yo, fait que... eux sont là, tu sais. Le soir avant, there's a show. It's like a Lollapalooza type show. Rock bands, punk bands, all this shit. And we're part of the hip-hop acts. And the dudes from Toronto was there. But we don't know this. And the crowd is varied, man. You got Mohawks in there, you got hip hop kids, you got everything. And so we get up on stage, and at that point, I had a song called "The Lyrical Assassin from Uptown." that was that long, and we would start the show with that. And while I'm on stage, we get up on stage. I used to have a hobby, and it was to fight skinheads. When I was a teenager, we used to run the streets to fight skinheads.
Yo!
Puis que c'est ça. Est-ce que t'as parlé que t'as du sang autochtone?
Non, on n'en a pas parlé.
C'est ça.
Ma mère est Wendat, mon père est italien.
Wendat,
Ouais.
italien.
Ouais.
Wendat, c'est l'Ouest canadien?
Non, ça vient de Québec. C'est juste à l'extérieur de la ville de Québec.
Ah, ok.
C'est la réserve de Wendagu.
OK.
So, in the crowd, I see one of those skinheads that cracked me in the head with a bat when I was a kid.
No way!
Bat. So I see him and I'm like, yo, who's down with racist, skinhead, Nazi bastards? And they're like, boo! And I'm like, there's one right there.
Oh non, t'as pas fait ça.
Yeah, so le kid, il se pousse, tu sais. And I'm like, yo.
C'est bon, ça.
I'm like, so I keep talking about skinheads and racism and everybody's reacting, you know? And some kid in the front had something smart to say. And he's like, is it because you're a faggot? And I went, this song's for you. And the song starts, who is it? And the beat drops. And when the beat dropped, I backhanded the shit out of him.
That's it.
Bap! And he went down, and then his friends started to move, and then all the hip-hop kids went, no.
Ça, c'est hip-hop
So
show,
we
ça.
kept fucking performing. Didn't skip a beat. We keep going. We do 3 songs. We get off stage. A dude from Toronto was like, you guys are fucking nuts. You're on the video tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So we got on Rap City because I smacked the shit out of homie in the front row.
That's it.
But we would do wild shit like that. We would walk around with our DAT tape because the groups were performing off of DAT. Nobody had the records on record that the DJ can spin or nothing. So the crews that had DJs would have a Wiggy going on while the DAT was playing. So we would go to shows with our DAT tape in our pocket and hijack the stage. Literally. We would drink, like, our name was Overproof. What do you think we were doing? We were drinking, man.
Overproof.
So my man Culture Supreme, 2 beers in his pockets. This is at the Metropolis, the Roots show. Shades of Culture's opening. We walk up backstage, tell Shades of Culture we're gonna go on first. All right. No, not on no strong arm shit. Just, yo, what up? You good? Peace. But you guys, yeah, fuck what? That was us. What? So we get on, we start the show. And there was the famous thing that happened that night. And there's no beef. Like, this was back then and it got settled. So I don't want this to spark something else.
It's story, yeah.
But so
History.
Culture Supreme at one point had called himself Culture Tech 9. Not because he packed one, just because he spit like one. That was, in the 90s, there was a lot of analogy like that. But then Chuck Ice, famous Chuck Ice from Montreal, legendary MC, big up Chuck Ice, had named himself Tech 9 when he got out of jail and came back home. So it's heard in Montreal that he says he's Tech 9 and no, I'm Tech 9. So at one point the phone rang at Culture's house and it's Chuck. And he's like, yo, I ain't the one, be like, we got to battle for this name. He's like, all right, we're going to battle for the name, whatever.
Tu sais comment ça se passe dans le temps? We have to battle,
Yeah,
man. Okay,
Hey,
man.
The art
that's
of hip
all
hop.
good, B.
Vendredi soir, yo, à
So
côté
that
du
night,
tunnel.
we take the stage at Metropolis and we start the show with how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could fuck Chuck? And we fucking spit it over and over. And somebody ran to a payphone called Chuck. Anyway, so, that beef got squashed. It didn't last. Culture changed his name. And they met up and said, peace. And we never got to battle. But big up to Chuck Ice, who's still in the game. His son's in the game with Cash Money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. So they're doing their things.
Wow.
There's a lot of stuff happening that we don't know of now because networking is so easy, with the internet and it's still. So that's something that, also I find diluted the game because now everybody with a computer and an iPhone and whatever could do whatever they want. And back when we were recording, man, you don't understand the shit we did after recording. Like, you couldn't, there was no home studio.
No.
You had to go to a studio, man. And we were lucky that, we got brought to studios and we recorded on 24 tracks and big fucking pancakes. And, we remember in New York when we had a record deal, you get an advance or anything, it's just to pay for what you're going to get, So we didn't get an advance, but they would buy shit. So they're like, we need to buy a reel to record. And so they're like, you could buy a used one that's $500. You could buy a brand new one that's like $3,000. So we're like, used? So they came back and they're fixing the reel, and then he starts playing the reel, and it's KRS-One on it. And I'm like, what's this? That's Chris, man. What's this? He's like, that's what you're gonna record over. I'm like, no, I'm not recording over KRS-One. It's like, dude, he sold the fucking thing. I'm like, I'm not recording over KRS-One. So that was a funny shit, man. So that was, the realities of the record industry, the hip hop industry at that time.
And this whole time, were you already into low? Were you rocking? What was the swag at that time?
The swag is we're being sponsored.
Oh, yeah, straight up.
So we got Rockaware on, we got Echo on, we got some other ungodly shit on.
True.
At one point, we had to rock Johnny Blaze.
Okay.
Because they're paying for the tour.
Yeah.
So that's when I was solo. That's when I was a solo artist.
Okay.
And I was spitting for, like, I was MC for hire. So I toured with Chaya, who was a mature artist. She was an R&B singer. So I toured with her. And so, yeah, we were sponsored by stuff like that. But Low was always in there, but not not low down.
Yeah.
Head to toe.
Yeah.
So Low was always part of the attire. But I got to say, it's got to be around the radio show time, 2000, that I just low down.
Okay.
I had taken a trip back to NY and ended up at the Low Mansion, the Polo store in the 80s there. And I just copped a bunch of shit. And I was like, this shit is too fly. Why should I wear anything else? And this is not even, this is pre-LoLife shit.
Right.
So but we always been wearing polo, all of us, so, but I got down with some serious pieces this time.
Yeah.
I had the means. This wasn't on a shoplifting thing. So I had the means. So I got some Low and came back, and then I just decided to just buy Low all the time. Just wear Low. And at the time also I was starting my own business. So every time I would go to networking events, I had a piece of polo on. So I started to be known as the guy with polo. So it became brand too for me. I was the only guy. So people would come and ask me, I started the last 3 events, and you had a different polo. What's it with polo?
I get
and
that.
when we say polo, you gotta understand it's not the little pony joints.
Yeah.
It's collection pieces, different, loud motherfucking pieces.
Yeah.
So that helped with that, man. It helped me, get attention for my business and get to know people, get to network. Then, let's transition to the polo lifestyle and the low life.
Well, because, and if you remember how we met, because you used to see me around at shows and stuff,
Right.
and kind of the same thing, I was always rocking Low. I was always low down. And you're the first one that told me what a hashtag was. He's like, your hashtag... Check him hashtag. What are you talking about? Your hashtag? I didn't, He's like, you don't
How do
know.
you roll that?
Yeah. I didn't even know about that. And then you told me about the hashtag and Team Polo 514.
Right.
Because I used to always rock Low. But at that time, you're already a Low Life. You're already an official.
No. Well, yeah, when
we met, you were already a Low Life. But it comes from New York. This is a culture that comes from New York.
Yeah, absolutely. This is MGVSJP. It's Brooklyn, Crown Heights.
Okay.
It's a cruise that started in 88, but there's a precursor to that. 86, we got Polo Posse.
Okay.
Shout out to Loopy, Polo Posse out of Buffalo, New York now, one of the originators. 88, you have the story, the way Loopy told me is that, they went and did a bid. So 86, they go in. So 88, they're not around, but the guys who started Low Life apparently would have, seen these guys before, so they just came off of that.
Okay.
So in Brooklyn, in Brownsville, you got USA, United Shoplifters Association.
United Shoplifters Association.
In Crown Heights, you got Ralphie's Kids.
Yeah, I heard of that.
So they got together to form the Low Lives.
Okay.
So one family under the L's.
Yeah.
Love and loyalty.
Right.
One L means nothing without the other.
Without the other, yeah.
All right. So to put things in perspective here, I'm a low life because I was given my L's by some originals, some generals, some founders. But I'm an ambassador to their culture, to the culture. I'm in the culture, but I'm not a low life per se as these guys who ran out of Macy's in 88 carrying Low on their shoulders. You know what I mean? I wasn't part of that.
Yeah. Well, you're not from there. You're from here still. You're still.
And I was given my L's later on. You know? So that part of my life, it was done. I wouldn't have been shoplifting at when I was given my L's.
Yeah.
But it's an honor and a privilege, man. In hip hop, you have no idea. I'm also IOC, and those two bodies of people, those two brotherhoods in hip hop, to be part of that is such a privilege and an honor, because Everybody heard the Biggie line, money, hoes, and clothes. That's not a Biggie line. That's a low-life motto, B. Money, hoes, and clothes. Before Biggie ever said it, that's where he got it from. You know? It's here on the logo, man. It's right here. Money, hoes, and clothes, right there.
Okay.
So, and then there's the balance for law and order, the 2 L's for love and loyalty, and the American, so the American flag.
So, well, Biggie did talk about low. He did rock some polo. You know, when the wind blows, I see my polos and Timbos.
Word up. Yeah, a lot of people mention them, you know, like Jay-Z knows them well. Wu-Tang is family.
Yeah.
You know, like, you gotta understand also all the MCs that are low life. Sadat X is a low life.
Yeah.
From Brand New.
Yeah.
City Parks did beats for Sadat.
Yeah.
You know, that's that low life collabo.
Yeah.
But he did the beats for him before he was low life.
Okay. Is Grand Poobah?
No, but you know,
he's a low
affiliate,
head,
man. You know, definitely. See that fine line between low life and low head. I want to put one thing straight. You know, some people put on a piece of polo and some polo socks, and they're like, low life. Okay, you're living a life in low, but you're not a low life. You know, we take it to heart, especially the OGs. You know, there's some OG lows that won't fuck with guys like me or anything like that. They're the Trife Low Life original. You know, we're 2.0s to them. I got to respect that. But I'm not there trying to claim nothing. I'm just an ambassador. I'm here for Canada. I represent Low Life's Canada, Montreal. And, you know, with my brothers, Funk Low, City Parks, my sister, Cell Therapy, Irvin, East Chan. We are all Low Lives, you know. And in our culture, there's a lot of politics. Yeah, so you know, if you're not from it, if you don't know what it's like to grow up in the hood, to grow up hip hop, to grow up, you know, different things, it might seem childish or whatever, but you got to understand, the original Low Life started as kids, man, teenagers sticking together. That was the love and loyalty. They had nothing. They had nobody but themselves. You know, so it started off with negative connotations, but that what they do now is incredible. They do book drives for kids. They do clothing drives in the winter. They give coats, boots, food on the street. They go in the hood. They do all kinds of charity events. In New York, man, they're out there. Shout out to my RLPC family. You know, they heavy in the game out there. They with the community, and they give back.
Yeah, because it started off that way. It started off as, you know, shoplifting and things like that, but it changed with time.
Well,
everybody
people grew up, and a lot of people lost their lives, man. A lot of people went in and did hard time.
Behind that, yeah.
Man. So, you know, it put shit in perspective for a lot of people. And, you know, a lot of people never left that neighborhood, too. So it's a community. So, you know, there's a lot of respect behind the lowlifes. And I noticed that the last time I was there, I went to go meet my RLPC family deep down in the pits of Brooklyn, man. And it was late at night, and I wasn't wearing no L's or no lowlife shit. But people saw me polo down, and 2 guys did speak to me. And when I said lowlife, they respect, peace. They came to give me compliments about my low. Probably wanted to give me more than compliments, but you know, the respect was there. So, you know, it's in hip hop. It's quite the family, and it's quite the culture. We're now worldwide. We are now worldwide.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's branded itself like that. It got too big to stop.
Yeah, Japan, Germany.
But those families are legit. Like, they were given L's by New York. Japan was blessed by New York. France was blessed by New York. Montreal was blessed by New York. Like, we're 4 of us in Montreal that were given our L's by originals. You know, so then me and another lowlife in New York, Baldo, helped spread in South America. We asked if the guys in South America could form their own low-life families, because a lot of people can't travel to New York to go get your L's from the generals. So we're now across all Americas. There's a low-life presence. Mexico, heavy. All South America, Chile, Argentina, everywhere, bro. London, Germany, Poland, Paris, man, you name it, Peace Out Paris Polo Club. Like, it's nuts. It's become huge. But then there's also a lot of families that are not sanctioned, that just claim LoLife. Like LoLife Dubai, man, ain't nobody, So.
Yeah, because you're known for... Lui, c'est comme un petit cadeau qui va être inbox, là. Lui, il est comme ça. Lui, il voit quelqu'un créer LoLife. I don't know if you still do that, but I know you would...
Because we're sanctioned to police it.
Like, yeah,
we're
he's
sanctioned to
policing.
police it.
He polices...
C'est comme qui
réseaux
t'a pointé,
sociaux.
qui t'a consigne. C'est
Because
comme
we have
organisme.
fundamentals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know the fundamentals.
Yeah. That's why I stopped, comme, avant qu'il me donne mes L, c'est vrai que, à un moment donné, quand je voyais des gens créer LoLife, comme à LoLife, puis là, il m'a dit, non, Team Polo 514. So I was always hashtagging Team Polo 514 for a couple of years. I was Team Polo 514.
Before I was a LoLife, I said, every time I would meet somebody who was low down, I'm like, yo, if you're on Instagram, hashtag Team Polo 514.
Yeah.
So we know we're Montrealers that like polo.
Yeah.
Because polo collectors can, sell each other items. A lot of polo people will buy, this is not a low life thing, this is a low head thing, a polo thing. They'll go and buy 4 or 5 of the same piece. Because they have a deal, because they got a coupon, because whatever, they had jacked it, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But so in the culture, you could go online and there's resellers and stuff like that. Some people like to trade, whatever. So that's a common thing in our culture. But so that's why I would do that pre-low life thing to identify our Montreal lowheads. Was that, and that's how the whole thing with the low lives kind of started. I had put in a Facebook group, Montreal Team Polo 504. And somebody's like, oh, you're just imitating the originals. I'm like, imitating what? They're like, the low life. I'm like, this got nothing to do with low life. I'm just gathering Montreal polo people. And a low life jumped on in a DM and he's like, yo, what's up? And I explained what was up. And he's like, all right, peace. And next thing you know...
C'est sérieux que ça, là.
Ouais, ils sont sérieux.
Yeah, man. Because it's not just the kid who's brandishing L's. That's fine. Like he doesn't know or whatever. But if he's going around claiming to be low life and he does some shit, we represent for all of each other.
Ouais.
So here it's not a prevalent culture. So it's not that deep in Montreal. But I always go in, we are allowed as low lives. If you come up to me and you say I'm a low life, I could say, okay, who gave you your L's? And you go, what are you talking about? I know you're not a low life.
C'est ça.
So, but you could have been with some other lowlifes that said you're a lowlife, or you're with them and they call you low, and you mistook that for, oh, I'm a lowlife, because we'll replace shit with low, as you already low, don't you low? So for a while, I would police people online that are claiming that they were hashtag shit. They were in Poland and they'd hashtag low life and this, but it's repetitive. Or they throw an L, and I'm like, do you know what you're doing? First of all, it's fun. We're at a stage, Thurston Howell, the general, said it the best. If you're in low life at this point in time and you're not about love and loyalty, then get the fuck out of here. The era, it's now about the culture. It's now about spreading the love and the loyalty, and we have artists that are tremendous in our movement,
Thurston Howell, c'est un gros rappeur, guys, de New York, qui est très connu, il est populaire, puis c'est un gros low-life representative. Puis il est dans les clips, tu le vois, lui. C'est un general. Lui, il est dans les clips, tu vas le voir. Lui, Cell Therapy, City Park, est dans les clips de Thurston.
Yeah, there's a Word to My L's video by Thirst. Shout out to Thirst, 2 L's, brother. Go check out his discography, man. He's got, crazy shit. He's on Soundbombing with Eminem.
Straight up.
Thirst gets respect from every MC.
Yeah, il est très respecté.
His styles are crazy, man.
And the book that came out, there was a book.
Bury Me with the Low One.
It's his book?
Yeah, the patch I passed you there.
Yeah.
Bury Me with the Low One.
Okay.
It's a book he did with Tom Gould, who's a photographer from Auckland, New Zealand. And it's about the whole low-life culture. That's based on a song by Thirst.
Okay.
Bury Me with the Low One.
Okay.
And, through all his music, you see all the different relationships with different MCs, like the Alcoholics, low life. the beat nuts, LoLife. You know, Joe the Damager, LoLife. There's a lot of people. Shabam Sadiq. Yeah. So you know, it's a vast culture, and like I said, we're all over the world now. So we're you know, in Montreal, it's not predominant because it's very specific to Brooklyn and it's spread out. Here, people like to wear one piece of low or two, but ain't nobody getting low down, man. There's just a few of us that do that shit. So here we're still, you know, each of us in our circle of friends, I know they call us King Polo, and because we're the only people who wear polo, you know. Like people come to my house and they go through I show them my closet and they're like, what the?
Yeah.
But that's what we do, man. You know? Low down, head to toe.
Mais j'ai toujours posé cette question-là.
Oui.
Tu sais, je pense dire le headquarter de Raph Lauren. Tu sais, ils savent c'est quoi la culture LoLife et tout.
Mais oui, Raph Lauren le sait.
Non, mais c'est
But
ça.
talk on it.
Parce que l'affaire, c'est qu'il y a le brand puis la culture. Fait que moi, dans ma tête, c'est comme
arrivé, là.
C'est fou, là, la culture dessous d'un brand.
Dans les années 2015, à peu près, ça a commencé qu'ils ont engagé des jeunes personnes pour travailler chez Polo. Puis nous, si tu checkes l'Internet, Instagram, là, puis tu checkes le hashtag LoLife, puis tu checkes tout ce qui a rapport avec Polo, là, tu vas voir que toutes les LoLife, là, we do fucking photo shoots, bro. Photo shoots.
Pour
Everybody
le
dressed the same.
brand.
Yeah, wearing OG Polo shit. Everybody matching, 50 dudes wearing the same shit. And that was the new thing that they would do was photo shoots. So these guys looked at it. And they said, okay, what do the kids want? What do they want? What do we want to sell with this brand? So they rebrought all the brands, all the old collections, and they remade them, but shit. Instead of embroideries, they did pressings and shit like that. So they went back to get all the big colors, all the big brands that they had. So all the big collections from the brand. So they came back out with everything and. They came to embrace the LoLifes. Raph Lauren met with Thurston Howell.
Oh, ouais.
If you go to the Raph Lauren store in Macy's, New York, there's a picture of Thurston Howell wearing polo, official Raph Lauren polo. Like,
Non, lui, il est sérieux,
non, mais parce que l'affaire, c'est que je trouvais, puis parce que lui, il arrêtait pas de parler d'affaires. À chaque fois qu'il me parlait ça, je suis comme, t'as-tu des dividendes, t'as-tu le pourcentage? I'm like, je comprends pas cette affaire-là. Puis après, quand j'ai dit, OK, mais tout ça, là, c'est littéralement de faire vivre un brand que peut-être il aurait été irrelevant to like the culture ou les réseaux sociaux avec le temps. Fait dans ma tête, je suis comme, y a-tu vraiment des personnes qui sont les originators du LoLife qui ont au moins genre comme un poste? C'est ça, dans ma tête, je dis c'est fou parce que moi, je voudrais partir un brand puis yo, j'ai tout ça.
Je sais qu'il y a des LoLife qui ont du stock.
Yeah.
Mais je sais pas si ça a changé, mais il y avait des LoLife qui étaient blacklisted. C'est des graphic artists, tout, puis ils étaient blacklisted de travailler pour Raph Lauren.
Ouais.
Because they're shoplifters, B.
C'est vrai, c'est vrai. Ah ouais, c'est vrai.
Yo, do you think Raph Lauren didn't meet Thurston Howell not knowing this dude stole for like millions of dollars of his shit?
Dans ma tête, je suis
No,
comme...
they know very well what the lowlifes did to them.
C'est ça, mais c'est pour ça que je
But
me
it
dis...
doesn't matter. Le schmata, là, yo, tu fais ton com, tu sais. Tu peux avoir tout le vol au monde. Là. Puis de toute façon, ils volent le magasin, ils volent pas le brand. Hein. C'est le magasin qui est comme. So, Ralph Lauren did not suffer from shoplifting. The stores did. But himself, man, plus, you know, let's not forget, the brand started in 1967. So he had a good 20 years of success prior.
20 years of success.
You know, till 88. But, you know, they completely changed the line because of the lowlifes.
Ouais, hein?
Absolutely.
C'est ça, je me disais, ils ont été influencés d'une certaine façon.
They were watching, bro. They were watching. And if you look, anybody who has the book, I know a few people who have the book, just look at the quality of the pictures. It's on par. And Tom Gould ended up doing all the spreads for Ralph Lauren because of the book. Like Tom Gould also did the videos for Action Bronson. Shout out to Action Bronson. Shout out to my man Mayhem Loren, 2LsB. Mayhem's my man. Yo, he came down to Montreal last time with Action, and we got to paint the town for 3 days straight. So he's coming back soon. I was hoping he'd be in town for this, but he's gonna be back soon, man. Mayhem Loren loves Montreal, and we both in the. I say Lauren because Raph. But we're all in the Lauren family. There's a few of us lowlifes that carry the Lauren name.
So, but you said there's Ayak as well. So what's Ayak?
As you already know, Ayak starts from a graffiti crew, but then spread. It's now a hip hop, full-on hip hop movement. And Ayak is a lot of MCs.
But they're also low down.
Not everyone.
Not everyone. Okay.
No, man, they got Ayak that got nothing to do with low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ça, il y a les low life.
It's politics, bro.
Politics.
Then I gotta
C'est
give a
fou, ça.
fucking rest in peace, Ski Black, one of the originators and founders that we lost recently. My man P from Montreal, we lost last Friday, man. Rest in peace. We lose a lot of good heads, man.
Straight up. And there's some in Toronto too. They have low lives Toronto.
No. There's people that are heavy in the low culture.
Yeah,
but there's no low life per se. There's one guy actually, because the low life family split in two. There's also another ULL called Universal Low Lives.
Okay.
But Big Boo's behind that. 2L's Big Boo's one of the originators. It's all low life.
Okay.
But
okay.
There's a low life in Toronto.
Okay.
I forgot. He's by himself.
Okay. So no Canada. Where have you? Montreal still reps for
Well,
Canada?
we rep for Canada. We were given the territory by the originals, Low Life Canada.
Yeah.
So we'll rep for the country. But it's tough because you got to get together. To be, if we don't get together, I can talk to someone in Vancouver who's
pas la
low
même
down,
chose.
puis dire, I don't want to give you L's, I don't know you.
Yeah.
And I'm not anyone who can give L's. We ask for permission to have Montreal dudes that don't get to travel to New York to be Montreal lowlifes. And we give them L's in that manner. But, they're not New York L given. So it's a little different. But our family is fully sanctioned and our family is an original lowlife family.
Mais est-ce qu'il y a des événements annuels?
Yo, there's a
Low Life,
barbecue every
ouais.
summer in Brooklyn. Le Low Life barbecue. Il y a le Low Goose on the Deuce.
Ça c'est en hiver,
Ouais,
avant Noël.
On 42nd Street. Everybody puts on their craziest polo goose on. That shit is crazy.
C'est malade. Donc, je vois les photos. J'ai pas encore été, mais c'est malade.
Puis là,
C'est
ça, c'est
bien.
juste les personnes dans le Polo Family. Parce que moi, j'ai jamais compris pourquoi on est rendu à 200-300 émissions avec ce gars-là. Puis à chaque fois, je dis, OK, mais t'as plein d'affaires Polo, donne-moi un. Mais j'ai jamais compris. Je suis comme, juste donne-moi un chandail Polo. À chaque émission, le gars a une nouvelle affaire Polo.
Bon, ben.
J'ai dit, donne-moi une affaire Polo, tout ça, puis il dit qu'il m'a jamais répondu.
Je peux pas t'en donner.
Non, mais I'm not him off. Mais moi, c'est là.
Il a jamais répondu à la question. C'est même pas ça, c'est que
Il aime
dans
pas-
ma tête, je suis comme, mais
I'll tell you what a low life is saying. Come get it.
je suis comme, mais c'est bizarre, comme yo, donne-moi une affaire Polo. C'est aussi, t'en appelais comme ça, mais c'est plus que
He's
ça.
collecting, man. He's collecting. Yo, polo closets are crazy, son.
Non, je sais,
If
c'est ça
you
que je
saw
vois.
some of these guys, man,
Yeah.
it's bananas. Like for us, I'm not even like Halo, my boy Halo, peace, 2L's Halo. This guy, man, ever-ending collection of every era of every, you know what I mean? Crisp. These guys keep their shit in Ziplocs, in containers. They store it. They have tags from the 80s.
C'est une maladie.
They haven't even
T'as dit
rewound it.
c'est
Mais il y en a.
Il a
des fois,
dit
je
c'est
me-
une maladie.
Non, parce que des fois, même moi, je suis comme, yo, I'm crazy. Like, see, that's why when I met them, I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. Like, I'm not crazy. You know? Because je suis comme, yo.
Non, mais c'est le
Yeah, but
seul.
what did it for you? Why did you start rocking only polo?
I just fell in love. And you know what? Because I found a plug. At the time, there was
N'importe quoi.
there was a Burlington Essex Junction,
Right.
which was about an hour away.
Bet.
And I was like, yo, I could get it for the low. This is when what's his name? President Obama was in power, so it was it was $1 for $1.
Bet.
And I was like, oh my God, I see the light. I can actually get it for the low. Que tu changeais $1 pour $1 américain, là, dans ce temps-là. Fait que yo, puis j'allais toujours à Burlington. J'étais comme, this is it. I can actually get low. And I was like, fuck it, I'm rocking low
Yo,
all
let me
the
tell
time.
you, man.
And I
Just
fell in love.
when you're in the States, often low life shit bring you stuff. Like I was at the malls, the big malls. I forget which one it was, man. And I go in the Tim store, and the dude checks me twice. Walks by me. He's like, "Yo, man, come see me the cash." So I'm like, "Yo, what up?" He goes, "Yo, pick any boots you want, man. Any boots you want, 100 cash." I'm like, bet. So I grab the boots, come over. He goes, just put it under the box. Put it under the box, flex with the boots. Go back a year later, my man's still there. He goes, okay, we're gonna do it different this time. Put the money in the box and give me a card, any card. I won't slide it. I'll just act like I'm sliding it.
Okay.
Yo, it was crazy. I was in Long Island for business, and there was a fire alarm in the hotel, and I had to I gotta get out of the hotel. Shit. So I gather all my low. And I'm walking up the roof. Oh my God. And the security guard's like, yo, my man, you gotta come this way. I gotta go that way. He goes, nice, low. And he goes, yo, you that dude from Instagram. I know you. So I'm in the fucking Long Island carrying low in the fire alarm, and this dude recognized me from Instagram. He's like, is there any more in the room? I'll help you. I'm like, nah, man.
Le fait pogne. Okay, no, we have to save the loaves.
It's funny shit, man.
C'est fucked up, son.
And, you know, our Instagram profiles always get, you know, there's somebody in my hood. I keep walking out. I never see her. He's like, no life. The fuck?
Ah ouais, c'est tough, ça, man.
Yeah. But it's dope, man. Listen, it's just to have that brotherly love and camaraderie with these guys, man. You know, like, it happened later in life for me. I was sitting with Sadat, and I was like, man, if this would have happened 20 years ago, man, I would have been like a child in a fucking candy store, man. Now I'm like, yo, what up, B? Good? Yeah, I peace. You know, like Special Ed is a low life, legendary Special Ed. Yeah, he just did a show in New York, and he brought up all the low lifes on stage, and they did an impromptu fashion show. Yo, low lifes is fly, B. You have no understanding, man. Like, everybody's a showman. Everybody's, you know, they always come dip, man. They always come correct. Like, collections you never seen, head to toe. The family, the women, the children. It's crazy, man. Like, to see it when you're in New York, man, it's awe-inspiring. You know, it's like they really put it on, and it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, it's a culture, but at the end, it's the love and loyalty between the members, between the brotherhood. Like, I had a low life come to my house. I never met him before. He was doing graph at Under Pressure. And, yo, he stayed at my crib. I went out to do groceries. Was I worried? No. Like, we got our bells.
Yeah.
You know? And he appreciated everything. Said thank you. Left after 2 days, man. It was just like having a brother over. Never met the man. We friends for life. I have communications with people I never met. We had some kid in Spain that was tripping out, fucking low life. So we're like, yo, who are you? He's like, fuck you, low life. So I'm like, okay, little did you know you could get touched.
Mais ma question avec tout ça, avec toute l'influence, la culture, l'impact de tout ça, je peux pas parler pour les fondateurs du mouvement, tout ça, mais je me suis dit, pourquoi il n'y a pas eu un branch ou un brand qui aurait été low life que vous auriez pu vous-même vendre.
They kind of have.
It's good you say that.
Puis parce que là, dans ma tête, je avec tout ça, c'est littéralement des millions de dollars. Là.
Il y a un gars, Willie Esco, qui était derrière Johnny Blaze et ses collections-là. So he's a clothes designer out of New York, and he got down with the originals and with the OGs, and he said, you know, let's do that. And they put out Low Life brand. But then they communicated with all of us. I got a call, they're like, what's your size? They were going to send me the whole collection. They're going to send everyone the whole collection. The OGs all got the whole collection. But then something happened. I don't know what. I don't know what the details are. But it fell through. So now Low Life brand exists on its own. But I don't think they're giving the Low Life OGs any money. I don't think so.
Sure.
Yeah. I think it's fucked up like that. Because none of them promote it anymore.
Okay, ça, c'est
Plus
crazy.
now Thirst is with Polo. He's with Raph Lauren. So fuck Low Life brand. As far as I'm concerned, I was told that the relationship is dead.
Ça, c'est crazy, ça.
Somebody reached out to me. At one point, I did online. I posted a tapestry of all the family crests. Every family has its crest. We're all under the Low Life cookie, one banner. But for regional purposes, everybody made their little crest. And this guy from Willie Esco from Low Life brand reached out to me. And he's like, yo, we got to make these into patches. I'm like, yo, they belong to people, man. You can do that. You're going to have a hell of a hard time at your office when they all show up because this is proprietary. You know, so I think, I don't know what happened, but I think they might own the brand, Low Life brand, but they don't own the cookie, man.
The cookie.
The designer, Rudy Lowe, 2L's Rudy Lowe. Rudy Lowe designed the cookie himself. And, you know, he's the sole owner of it. And but it's for the Low Lives. the guy who designed it with him, Face Low, I had a convo with him a long time ago, and he was like, "It's for us. It's for the family."
Ouais. Yeah.
So, but you know, there's a lot of good in there. You know, like these guys, that some of them have done long bids and everything like that, and you know, they're always there to pick up the phone and talk to you. Anyways, everybody who I had interactions with, you know, so with a lot of them that I couldn't build face to face, I got the call. And we would do long 2-3 hour phone calls just to talk about everything. You know, they want to know my pedigree, where I was from, what I was about. Because, yeah, I got my L's, but they don't know me. So there's a lot of wise OGs in there that got a lot of teach the kids. And you know, there's still the Trife Life OGs too, man. You know, it is what it is. It is a street culture, but it's based on love and loyalty, and it's a brotherly, very tight-knit family.
Wow.
Straight up, man. I'm happy you came to, you know, say the story for Montreal, the full story. And I'm happy KK got to hear it firsthand.
Non, moi, dans ma tête, c'est comme, yo, moi, c'est plus le brand que je me suis dit, yo, c'est sûr que j'aurais...
Ouais, c'est
Parce
un
que
bon
yo,
point.
j'ai jamais vu un brand avec une culture comme ça.
Non, il n'y en a pas.
Moi, dans ma tête, je regarde Calvin Klein, Puma, même Nike. Non.
Well, Nike is because it's a sports apparel,
C'est
right?
ça.
So everybody's wearing Nike, but you can't say I'm a Nike head.
Exactement, mais pour dire qu'il y a une culture sportive.
You know who I
les
would say-
N1 mixtapes avaient comme créé une certaine culture avec les basketteurs, les gars street, avec les DVD. Il y avait une...
But
puis le brand
anybody,
N1.
any other brand that would have this impact, it would be because of this. Like
Oui,
Supreme.
Oui, voilà.
Supreme has a heavy following.
Oui, Supreme.
But
Skater, puis tout ça, ouais.
it comes from you were absolutely right. T'as 100% raison quand tu dis qu'il n'y a aucun autre brand qui a
Non,
ce
moi,
following.
je regardais ça, je
Il
dis,
n'y a
c'est
pas
quoi?
de subculture d'un brand de...
Moi, tellement je pensais que c'était comme littéralement un département de Raph Lauren qui avait créé ça.
No
C'est
Life.
fort.
Ah ouais?
Mais non, je pensais que j'ai dit non, mais parce que j'ai dit, yo, vous êtes payés, c'est sûr, guys.
We wish. But, you know,
Wow.
within the culture, you know, like, we don't all pay retail for our shit.
Yeah,
We
c'est
all
ça.
got plugs, you know.
The plugs.
Yeah, because, you know...
So,
Je te
yo, we
relève
wear
ou quoi?
$600 shirts, bro.
C'est ça,
You know, c'est pas pour tout le monde.
c'est pas pour tout le monde. Même
Yeah,
pas pour
because you had
Cyrano.
organized. You had
Même pas
organized.
pour Cyrano.
Non,
encore.
attends, il avait organisé, à un moment donné, c'était au confessionnal. C'était
Ouais,
au confessionnal.
ouais.
Il avait fait c'était un low event. And, you know, bring your flyers, low on. Et
That
puis,
was the first official LoLife party sponsored by Raph Lauren.
c'était sponsor.
I did that.
Officiellement,
Ouais.
I did the first official
Je...
LoLife party
C'est en
sponsored.
quelle année?
Yo,
2015,
Ah ouais, quand même,
2014.
ça fait pas si longtemps que ça. quand
Qui a
même.
gagné l'event?
c'est toi.
You know what I mean? Let them know.
Yes,
I'm
okay.
not gonna say what you showed up with, but,
Ah ouais, hein?
Yo, j'étais low down, though. J'avais...
Yeah.
Il y avait comme 3 personnes.
but he
Non,
showed
c'était
up.
rempli.
C'est genre.
Non, c'était rempli.
He
c'était
showed up
rempli.
with his boy with a fucking USPA on.
Ah ouais.
J'ai un panel qui avait un Polo Assassins on.
A USPA, man. C'est
Ouais.
two
Tu
dudes
l'as
on a
de-
donkey butt fucking.
Mais c'était quoi le prix que. Quand
Ah, mais c'était pour aller magasiner au 4... Ça s'appelle comment le magasin? Oui, c'était
14,35,
14,35 un bail
Ouais.
de la montagne.
Puis tu pouvais aller.
Puis c'était du lot. Ouais, c'était un magasin qui avait du
Yo,
lot.
they gave me gift certificates for the winners.
Oh,
They
wow.
gave everybody who walked in the door had a 25% off at the store. Like they were open, man. But the guys didn't know nothing, you know. So for that, because we don't have that culture here, right? So it's not like, oh no, the fucking shoplifters want to do a party with us. So they were just down.
Mais après, t'as jamais pu le refaire. Avec leur-
Yo, le magasin a changé de management.
Ah,
et
ok,
tout.
ouais, j'étais-
Mais les gars, ils connaissaient rien, man. Je rentrais dans leur boutique avec du lot de, like, the illest shit.
Puis ils
Like
comprenaient
bear
rien.
knits. And he's like, nice teddy bear. I'm like, this is Polo. He's like, really? And he's got the big Polo book, the whole story of Polo right on the counter. And I'm like,
Ouais.
read this. And I open the book to him and I go, this is Ralph Lauren. This bear represents Ralph Lauren. And I'm showing him the bear collection. And he's just like, wow.
Wow, là, t'es comme. What a
It's
disgrace.
deep, you know, it's a deep thing, man. Like coming out of the RRL store in New York, every time I see a celebrity, like big time,
Ouais, hein?
big celebrities go in there and just buy Polo. Not Polo, Ralph Lauren. Because there's RRL, which is a superior brand. It's like purple
The
label.
blue color.
The blue label, purple label. But, you know, it goes beyond LoLifes too. There's heavy collectors in the game everywhere in the world, and on Instagram they can be found. And there's a thing about it makes everybody want to model, man. So everybody's doing their photo shoots and they got their outfits on. I like to do a lot of I do photo composition with like I do digital manipulations of pictures. So I like to do that for my shit on Instagram is like that when it comes to polo. But definitely everybody check out the Instagrams, Montreal LoLife. It's at Montreal LoLife, or check out my Instagram at Raphael514 if you want to see some LoLife and polo shit.
Straight up. And before we end, I'd like you to talk about your voice. You're making money with your voice as well. You do voiceovers?
Yeah, man. I do a lot of commercials. I do a lot of basically commercials, but a lot of like corporate videos, shit like that. But yeah, when I got out of the radio game, my producer was like, "Listen, man, why don't you do ads?" And I was like, "How do you do that?" That never even came to mind.
Yeah. And
he's like, "Oh, go talk to this guy." And 2 seconds later, man, I'm working. So I'm blessed with that voice, man. I can do that. And in the voiceover world, I'm like the one take guy. I go in, I give you 3 takes, 3 different takes. Well, because voiceover is your voice, right?
Yeah.
J'ai pas besoin de...
Tu refais-le et tout, whatever. Essaie de mieux t'imiter, tabarnak.
Puis, I got a good range. Je peux faire vraiment deep, je peux faire vraiment high pitch. Fait que ça me met dans une belle place pour faire beaucoup de projets. Mais là, dernièrement, j'en ai pas fait depuis... Après la pandémie, ça a été rough un peu. Mais durant la pandémie, j'ai fait toute la série des pneus Yokohama. J'ai fait plein de choses comme ça. Je suis la voix de plusieurs brands. Mais c'est difficile d'être la voix unique, surtout quand c'est juste des voice-overs. Mais j'étais avec un acteur une fois, puis il y a eu l'appel... pendant que j'étais avec lui, qu'il y a eu le contrat pour Toyota Canada, puis c'était pour un contrat de 10 ans.
Oh my God.
Le gars, il était comme... Il pouvait pas s'asseoir, là.
Tu veux ça, là? C'est comme... T'étais comme...
Ouais, il te donne un montant par année, tu sais, puis après ça, tu vas enregistrer quand il t'appelle.
Straight up.
Ouais.
Ça que j'aurais une bonne voix pour ces affaires-là.
Ça aussi, c'est cool, parce que...
Tu checkeras ça? Non, mais c'est vrai. Moi, je pense que c'est un bon crossover pour les rappeurs qui ont des voix uniques.
J'ai fait un projet dernièrement. Ils m'ont mis dans un vol pour Toronto le matin. J'étais enregistré à Toronto, puis j'étais revenu à Montréal le même jour, tu sais. C'est comme... Les gens penseraient pas qu'à faire des voix, tu sais, ça peut être... C'est excitant, même. C'est
bon,
vraiment le
lifestyle et tout.
Puis, j'étais comédien aussi, puis ça me frustrait faire les auditions. Tu te présentes à l'audition, je fais 6 pieds, j'ai les cheveux bruns. Tu sais, Chris, il y a 50 gars qui me ressemblent. Je suis en bio, this is why.
Je suis pas spécial en ce moment, mais ma voix, elle est spéciale, par exemple.
Mais, tu sais, quand je fais des auditions pour la voix, j'ai un studio chez moi. Tu sais, je peux faire des auditions pour n'importe où à travers le monde. J'ai pas besoin de me déplacer, mais souvent, quand tu veux te déplacer, ben, tu te fais traiter comme aux petits oignons.
Avion,
ben, c'est chill, man. Puis, tu sais, you'd be surprised at the money they spend for a voiceover. When it's a big brand,
c'est nice.
Tu sais, t'es là, puis il y a quelqu'un qui est là, puis qui se fait payer aussi cher que toi pour assurer que le texte est correct. Tu sais, puis elle est là, puis elle check l'autographe. So it's funny shit, man. But, tu sais, j'étais dans un studio où Justin Bieber travaillait, ou tu sais, comme tu vois, toutes les photos. Je vais faire juste une voix, là. Moi, je fais ça de ma chambre chez nous.
Je sais qu'Impost, il faisait aussi des affaires de ads. On entendait ça.
Il y a plein de
monde. J'étais comme, c'est pas la voix d'Impost?
Ouais. Mais c'est une bonne transition pour les MC. Hein.
Ben oui, c'est ça.
Mais Raph Lauren, après qu'il m'a rencontré, il était allé demander à son agent d'en faire, puis il en a fait plein.
That's it. Message à les artistes avec une voix unique, yo. Pas ça.
That's what's up, man. Raph Lauren in the building.
No, baby, 2 L's.
2 L's, man. Des questions.
Love and loyalty.
Yeah.
Arrête. Mais j'avais même pas me donner un chandail à faire ça, en plus. Moi, je rentre dans le bail.
No, but, that's the other thing, too, juste pour finir, là. J'avais demandé, à un moment donné, après j'ai eu mes L's, il y avait un gars qui était tout le temps avec nous aussi, tu sais, à New York, puis j'ai dit, why doesn't he have L's? And he's like, he doesn't want the responsibility. Ça prend... You belong to a family.
Ouais, t'as des comptes à rendre.
You know, so if a brother calls you in trouble, you better be there. You know, as much as you can. And they won't be shy to ask.
C'est bon, c'est j'aime ça la mentalité.
Yeah, no, it's a community mentality, and it's a brotherly movement. And it's go check out anything you can to the people out there. Go check out all the LoLife shit online. Thurston Howell III, check out all his music, Sadat X, all the artists that we talked about, Shabam, Sadiq. so on and so forth. And come to the Low event. When you see one online, there's one on the 25th, but I don't think this is going to air before then.
I don't know. I don't think so. No.
But anyways, we'll see a bunch of people there. The Montreal Low heads will be out with the Low lives.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's up. Any last words? Is that the last words?
Hey, man, I got to say shout out to my other Italian Wendats in Montreal. We're only 3 of us. Pasta Pooks, my man. Pasta Pooks, my brother. And Daddy Mesa, who I just recently found out that's bugged out. I know Daddy Mesa. He's a Montreal DJ, reggae DJ. I just found out he's Wendat Italian too.
Okay.
So it's a weird mix. We're only 3 of us. So peace out to my brothers. Thank you very much, dudes. This is meant a lot. I didn't get to cover half the shit I wanted to say, but whatever, man. We let it transition to how it went.
Yeah. But if there's any last things, je pense qu'on a couvert quand même pas mal.
Yeah, we went through the basics, man. Yeah. We went through the basics.
Fait qu'au pire, il y aura un part 2 eventually.
Ouais, c'est sûr.
Bet.
So that's what's up, man. Raph Lauren in the building, Rapolitik TV, and we out like that. 2 L's.